The birth of the universe was not an event that happened suddenly, but rather a process that unfolded over millions of years. In the beginning, there was nothing but darkness. Then, from the darkness, a giant egg appeared. It was called chaos. And inside this egg, there was a great abyss, a yawning emptiness that threatened to swallow all existence. And from this emptiness, a primordial goddess named Gaia emerged. She was the personification of the earth, the first of the Titans to be born. But Gaia was not alone. From the depths of chaos, other primordial deities also emerged. The sky god Uranus, the love goddess Aphrodite, the wisdom goddess Athena, the messenger god Hermes, and the many-eyed giant Argus. The first task of these newly born gods was to create order out of chaos. They divided up their roles and set to work. Gaia took her place in the heavens and spread her vast bulk across the face of the earth. She reached down with her mountains and valleys, her rivers and seas, and molded the raw material of the world into a habitable home for the creatures that would inhabit it. But there was still no sun or moon to light up the sky, no wind or rain to nourish the earth. And so the gods gathered together and decided to create these things. Now, the story of how they did this varies from one tradition to another. In some tellings, Gaia, Uranus, and the other gods did this by simply decreeing it into existence. In others, there is a more dramatic fashion. One such telling goes like this. The gods went to Hephaestus, the lame god of the forge, and commissioned him to create a great 5-horse chariot with flaming torches for each horse. When it was done, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, volunteered to drive the chariot across the sky and bring light to the world. But she soon realized that driving a fiery chariot across the sky was much harder than it looked. And so she called out to Helios, the Titan god of the sun, and asked him to take over for her. And he agreed. And so every day he drives his chariot across the sky, bringing light and warmth to the world below. But what about the moon? Well, that was the domain of another Titan named Selene. She was the one who brought the moon to the sky and watched over the sleeping world as it turned through the night. But Selene was not always content to watch over the world from afar. Sometimes she wanted to get a closer look. And so she would transform herself into a cow and wander through the fields, herding the cattle of the sun, god Helios. But she was not always careful. And once she accidentally let a bunch of demons loose in the world. And so to punish her, Zeus chained her to a rock in the form of a barren cow so that she could never again have the chance to wander the earth. Now, I know that sounds like a sad ending, but it doesn't have to be. You see, in some tellings, Selene isn't punished, but rewarded. For her service, Zeus takes pity on her and allows her to become a constellation in the night sky. So when you look up at the moon tonight, just remember, that could be Selene, the Titan goddess watching over you as you sleep. But while Gaia and the other primordial gods were creating the world, there was one thing they didn't take into account: the pesky little humans. Humans are notoriously difficult to get along with. We're messy, we're loud, and we tend to complain about everything. And so Gaia and the other gods decided to do what any reasonable deities would do. They created a race of giants to serve as slaves for the humans. These giants were strong and hard-working, and they were totally fine with doing whatever the humans demanded of them, which was great, except for one small detail. The humans didn't actually want the giants working for them. They wanted to eat them. And so there was only one thing the giants could do: run away. They fled to the mountains where they lived in caves and survived by hunting and fishing. And the humans weren't happy about this turn of events. They had been promised a race of slaves, not a new species of game. And so they complained to Gaia, the earth goddess, and begged her to do something about it. Gaia felt sorry for the humans. She had made them weak and frail. And she knew that without the giants to help them, they would never be able to build houses or plant crops or do any of the other things that humans do. And so she came up with a plan. She told the humans to gather up the bones of the giants that they had slain and build a great wall around their city. And Gaia promised that if they did this, the city would be protected from harm. And so the humans did as Gaia instructed, and their city became safe and prosperous. And Gaia was pleased. She liked the way the humans were turning out. They were creative and clever, and they seemed to have a lot of potential. So she decided to give them one more gift: fire.